Okay. Well,
Are you
shit.
screaming inside?
I've already given up.
Yeah, listen, this is a battle we had probably, like I said, a year ago, and majority voted to have the ISO. So the people who didn't care for it, we kind of lost.
What do you mean?
Well, some of us didn't want to have to put the format in the way that they were requesting. Month, day, year, whatever is how we do it. But then even the date format had to be different.
I recognize the value in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is generally ignorant to how people conduct business on a day-to-day basis.
What do you mean?
Well, like I said, not a very few reports actually use this standard. Most people are putting ET, EST, PT, PST, etc., right? Why? Because it's unusual, right? And furthermore, we have been accustomed to using the standard for about 20 years. If we put in a half-baked suggestion like this, right, which apparently has been a thing for over a year, well, why is no one else using it? And what is the expectation when this lands on the desk of DOJ, people outside of this department, individuals who get a FOIA? We're effectively saying, can't convert this, so now everyone else is going to have to convert it. But that's not really my main issue. I don't think that mattered right over there.
No, I don't think it was necessary during your announcement, which is why I was like, let's just talk about this later, guys. Like, I didn't want to interject, but I also thought we shouldn't be talking about it now.
Yeah. So when I go and put UTC in every single report and people start raging, I'm ready for that. So,
yeah, well, who
I
knows?
want you
Maybe
to think
it'll
about
get changed
this.
Again.
Imagine a report with 5 of these UTC things.
Oh, I know.
Everyone's going to go fucking crazy.
It's insane. I agree.
Yeah. It's now if this was put forward.
Do not have that yet. Like, people are not already doing that. I feel like they are, but maybe not. Maybe they're not using specific times.
I've been knee deep in reports for the past week and a half on a bunch of things. I have not once come across this.
Look and see. Not once. Yeah, I'm looking at one that Opal just did, or no, Doc did.
Look, can I be straight with you? Who's closing cases? Who's going at in the last week and a half? You know what I mean? I'm cooking, right?
I know.
Now, if this may be,
gonna slow you down.
It's gonna slow me the fuck down.
I know.
Hell yeah. Right.
Well, okay, so what you're saying, the converter thing, you're saying if we have something that
should be baked into the MDT, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree, listen, I don't give a fuck about SOPs unless those SOPs are helping those who are producing. Yeah. It's as simple as that. Produce, now you got value, right? And I don't think that's wrong, right? Sitting on the sideline, and this isn't, I'm not directing this at Trig, right? But
I know
it's unfortunate, a lot, if you have a group of 10 people and everyone's nodding their head, but 2 people are producing, well, most of those opinions don't really matter because they're not affected by it, right?
Yeah.
So
I will say that most of the detectives, at least the people who do what you're doing in shift 1, are usually people that are familiar with UTC or EU, the GMT time zone.
That is so crazy. I mean, I don't know how I have not come across a single one then.
I don't think that they put specific times for a lot of, I'm looking at one now, subpoena.
Maybe that's what's happening, because how are we building timelines? Right? The time matters significantly. It might be...
I think they're doing dates, not the exact times. For most of the cases that Doc and Aaron have done, it'll be, on June 21st, this started, and then all the way through June 27th. So it's just the whole fucking day. And then as far as specific times, I think it's, usually they fall within the same. We've not had it where it should be a day. That's why when we request records, it'll be a day or two before and a day or two after what we're looking for. This way we get that time lapse of where it could be the 20, one day forward or backwards. That's something I could think of because I'm looking at a couple of things that Doc has done, and yeah, he just does dates. So we are looking for the full, not this time to this time. We are looking this day to this day, and we just include the day prior.
Yeah.
So we make sure we get the exact, what we're looking for. Yeah, I'm just skimming through a couple of them right now. I think what Dark does too.
Well,
now another issue, they're on parole, right? So, well, some are in prison and some are on parole, right? Some of the Hydra. Now, if I arrest them right now, how do I know they're on parole? Besides the meeting you just told me.
That's why I put it in their profile.
Okay.
Yep.
So
they got the tag. They have the entire listing of details.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's why there's a parole officer, right? Which is myself.
Yeah, which I get. The only thing I worry about, which I know you put a lot of, you're like around a lot, so it's good. But I do worry about people on parole. Okay. Well, you know what? Fine.
Yeah.
But like people on bail and parole, I am so worried they're going to get overlooked and just processed for whatever crime, because I don't feel that all officers actually look at their profiles.
Yeah.
So something I've recommended to people is to actually put a warrant out, and on the warrant state on parole until this day and time. Please review their their profile or something, because then their name is flagged red when they're added as a criminal scum. Just a recommendation. Obviously, I don't think you're going to need to do that.
Say again?
Make a warrant for them. In the warrant, state that they're on parole. So when they get processed, they have to read whatever the fuck's on that warrant, which is, please look at their profile. They're on fucking parole.
It's fine. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this isn't huge, but I'm saying if it was bigger, then maybe, I would do that. We've had people on bail and they violate it, and then they just get processed like fucking normal because nobody reads their profiles.
I think it's worse than that. How honest do you want me to be right now?
I know you're pissed. Just be honest.
No, it's been this weekend. It's crazy. The more reports I look at, the more frustrated I get. We have people putting I don't think we have police officers in the departments. I think we're hiring people that are interested in driving and shooting. We dealt with that OAS, the one that that was being discussed that led to these arrests. Some dumb fuck put, if you find this gun, it's going to be criminal use.
Nuh-uh.
We're creating literally AI agents that yes, over and over and over again. Immediately, while they're getting processed, at the top it says, if you find this gun, process them with criminal use. What kind of dumb fuck is telling people to do this?
Just sounds like laziness.
It's literally that we are encouraging AI agents. And I cannot be the one that raises the flag, right? I cannot.
Can you tell me what incident it is so I have it as an example?
Yeah,
what I'm going to do is, we usually do Tuesday trainings. Maybe even just at the meeting, since we don't do bits really. I know you always say we do bits. We really don't do bits in our shift. Have you been to a BCSO meeting? Do not fucking say we do bits. Their whole fucking meeting is bits. The whole hour is bits.
This is bits.
Oh, this is fucking peanuts. Now, give me the incident and
penis. Peanuts.
I was at the dentist this morning, so my mouth's like peanuts.
What?
Peanuts.
Wait. What? What about? What do you mean peanuts?
Oh my god, it's gone now. I'm not talking about Maya peanuts.
No, I know, but I'm. What do you mean? This meeting is peanuts. I don't know what that means.
Our meeting is peanuts compared to theirs.
Gotcha. 16795.
You would probably go crazy. 16795. When you say like, oh, we're not cops, da da da. It's all just jokes, giggles, and fucking
No. I wasn't talking about the meeting in general. I'm talking about, oh, good, they fixed it. I did raise this yesterday.
Okay, so let's see. I'm curious why we're even putting that.
So until I brought this up, until I brought this up, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Immediately at the top, before these people were processed and the evidence was run, in whatever this, and you can look at the history, it said, if you're found with this gun, charge him with criminal use. And I'm like, bro, like, what are you guys, dumb or something? Like,
yeah, that's, and what are the what did Chaz get? Attempted mass murder. Oh,
criminal use is 25 months and $5,000. And this isn't the first time, right?
It's just a waste of a report, in my opinion.
It is. I used the example yesterday to try to highlight to the command that was processing, is that in this short period of time that I've been around, right? I took a look at, I've been looking into like Hades and Exodus and the Senior Bun shit and stuff tied to Margot Escargot and like whatever. In just referencing some of these reports, we have people like, I'll give you an example. Hades versus Exodus. You ready? They get arrested. Bunch of them. About a week, 2 weeks later, Jamal from the Besties is charged with criminal use on that report. And someone from Hydra is charged by someone on that report. So the simple understanding of like, yo, the gun came back, and you look at that report, you should be saying, wait, no, this person logically would not have used the gun.
Right.
Associated to this. No.
They would have probably stolen from him.
Stole it, whatever, sold it, whatever, but it's not criminal use. And by charging him with criminal use, you have now cooked anything in relation to that arrested individual or that gun. It's you know, when we talk about raids, when we talk about,
we talked about this last week, I think, about asking them, you know, asking them where they got the gun from to kind of expand on that, right? What more are you wanting officers to see from officers to do during that situation when they know
when they find a gun that's hot?
When it was right. So like you said, okay, Exodus and Hades, and boom, a Besties has the gun.
Critical thinking. Like, you know, yesterday during this Hydra situation, I'll lay it out for you. 2 officers up in Grapeseed got held up. They 78s.
Okay.
I rush up Great Ocean while other officers go the other way. No one was going Great Ocean. I went Great Ocean. I see the white and color premiere. I call it on radio. Someone starts arguing with me on the radio that it's not them. And then I start getting open fired on. I get 78s, Great Ocean by the bridge. And they go, that's not, and I'm like, and then I stop the car. I'm now like south of their position. And I call up on radio that they didn't come south. They're probably heading north, right? They go, no, it's not. That's not the car. And I'm like, it is. And they just opened fire on me. How are you arguing right now? Right? In my brain. Like, you know, all this is happening. And they go, I see the car. It's going north. And so I turn around and and I'm like, they're still here. They're not moving. And like Great Ocean Bridge. And instead of any one of the other officers like looking at their GPS, I got ripped. I was fucking livid.
Oh, okay.
I was, yeah. And so at the end of that, we find out that the gun, because they all got shot down, they tried to raid all the properties for the gun.
What?
Yeah.
Raid what properties?
For the gun, for the stolen PD equipment.
Who, they knew who it was?
Because the call stemmed off officers getting held up.
Oh, the one being held up. Got you. Yeah. So they knew who. Okay.
And they wanted to raid it, even though we found them 5 minutes later.
Did they have the gun?
Nope. how could they have stashed it?
Yeah, I mean, depending. I mean, all they had to do was a map with an arrow, Knight. Don't you know?
Yeah. So when you say how do we do it, well, critical thinking. That's what's missing. It's
yeah.
fucking,
Well,
you know
I get what
I mean?
you're saying, but officers are asking these questions. Like even Opal, she's a great example of
Opal
somebody
is
who
a
asks,
great officer.
Yeah. So she's in the cells and she's like, she'll be like, listen, Miguel, I know that, you know, you weren't at this fucking fight. This is Hades and Exodus. Where the hell did you get this gun from? Why do you have it? Why is it coming back to this incident? And usually it's, I found it in a bin. And I told you this. And that usually these questions are asked by officers in the cells. And if they don't feel it's getting anywhere, where are you going from that? When you know.
That's not happening though, right?
It is when I'm in the cells. I ask them all the time, where the fuck did you get this gun from? Because I know you're not shooting with fucking Hades. And one, who was it? Luke Attar. Oh, I ain't telling you shit, bruv. I ain't telling you fucking shit, bruv. Send me on full time, bruv. You know, you have that, and then you have people who are like, hey, I found it in a bin. This is probably why it was in the bin, meaning the trash, because it came back to like all kinds of stuff. So again, you don't know if they're lying, but those are questions I ask because it's obvious when some of these people have guns that are to crimes that you can't even place their crew on. So knowing that, okay, I'm going to go to court and they're going to fight this gang related charge. How am I going to articulate that Forehead was at this Hades and Habibi, whatever the fuck, shootout, right? How are you pushing gang related on? I get constructive possession. However, when you go to court, the judge wants to see how are you placing him there? Is that something you feel confident you could win? If Forehead has a gun that comes back to a gang related, two gangs that have nothing to do with Forehead. I want to know your thought on that. This is me asking you, so I understand your logic on that.
If you find a gun that's hot to a scene that clearly would not have involved somebody, they should not be charged.
Right. So you're saying not at all, not even criminal use, nothing.
We can't. We shouldn't. It's the opposite of good faith.
I do agree, and there has been issues that Opal's brought to me, and she's like, I can't honestly go forward with saying that this guy was on this scene. I can't place him on this scene. But I do think that we need to communicate with some of these officers and build up their confidence on this, because the way that it's being explained, if we're not pushing charges on hot guns, we're getting command reports about why this is pressed and why that's pressed and why this isn't
Those
pressed.
fucking dumb fucks that, you know, are putting up command reports on incidents that they don't understand. That's not... Who cares about the command reports?
Well, I know. I don't care.
And 90% of these command reports are fucking dumb as shit.
I think most of these officers are worried about being reported for stupid fucking shit when they have to understand that I'm going to have your back if I feel you're in the right, you know?
Let me run it back. Because I don't want to lose track of my point here that I was trying to make, is that our officers, for some reason, I don't know the answer. It seems like maybe you may not know as well, not again, like someone's doing this, Maxwell. Someone is telling these people, our officers, to immediately put criminal use at the top of the report.
That nobody is telling him that.
Then how is it happening? There's no other way. I don't even
teach them to put that on the top of a report. That's crazy.
I know you're not. How do you know what they're doing in BCSO? How do we know what they're doing in shift 2? How do we know what they're doing in shift 3? Someone's doing it. And my point here is that we're so like charge locked or whatever, right? It's like got to give the punishment or whatever, that we're losing sight of what we're supposed to be doing. Because by getting that charge on them, number one, it's bad faith. Number two, it's fucking every investigation that might be tied to that report. And I already gave you an example. I'm looking into Hades and all this shit. Yeah. And now those reports are cooked. Why are they cooked? Because
that's how it's been.
Because they got processed. We almost put in somebody on a murder gun. until I looked into it. Yeah, the fucking thing that these guys got caught up in.
Oh my God.
It was at the top of that report was, if you find them, it's going to be criminal use, even though the report is about a fucking murder. So what? So when you got the cadet or the fresh officer, they pull up the hot gun, they look at this, and it says criminal use at the top. They're going to charge
I don't
him.
understand that. I do notice that people are afraid to charge these. I understand. Like, I think we were talking about this yesterday with the chief, or not yesterday, but last week, about why are we not doing gang related plus the attempted on say they're shooting each other. So I know we went and talked to a justice reference.
Yeah.
About charging, attempted first degree murder or whatever it be, because the gang relateds have been crazy. I think they've subsided a little bit since, but people are just set in their ways and like, oh, they see this officer charges that, so then they're like, okay, I'm just going to charge that. Because why criminal use? I think because most people can articulate that without a doubt. The gun was used in a public space and it shouldn't have been. Therefore, it's criminal use, and that's it. It's the easiest catch-all. But also, I don't think people are confident with charging nothing on an incident they don't feel the person is involved in. I think that criminal use is used as we know you weren't there. Well, we don't believe you were there. However, you have the gun, constructive possession. So we're still going to give you criminal use. This is what I think is across the board. Does that make sense?
Well, it sounds to me like the issue is that the communication isn't happening first. So if I were to come across a gun and I look at it and then at the top of it, it says, this was in relation to a murder case or serial assaults and killings or, something, whatever. It's, you ask, you go to your command. This gun's hot. What do I do? Right? As opposed to, we end up with that situation. Remember that guy I suspended?
Yeah.
And then Stevie did the same thing. Right?
Yes.
So
yes.
while I understand like what you're saying, the problem is deeper than that. These motherfuckers don't give a fuck. Am I wrong?
I do agree.
You get what I'm saying? We can come up with like, oh, they can't do this, they can't go to court. No, they don't even give a fuck.